Welcome to The Pulse, where we delve deep into the issues and ideas that are shaping the future of education. I'm your host, Rick Surrency, Superintendent of the Putnam County School District, and each week we'll be talking to teachers, administrators, and other experts in the field about the latest trends, best practices, and most pressing concerns in education. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone who cares about education, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the pulse. Welcome back. This is Rick Surrency. I'm the superintendent of the Putnam County School District, and I'm very honored today to have two of my colleagues and two of my friends who I've known for a long time who've been a vital part of our school district. And we have Sandy Hurst and we have Cindy David. And both of them are former guidance counselors, and they're going to talk to you today about what they're doing now to actually be guidance counselors in a different way. So welcome both of you. And Sandy, why don't you start off, just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background, and then we're going to get into what both of y'all are doing now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I started out as a teacher many moons ago. I taught at Mellon for many years, and then just had a calling to go into school counseling. And started my career at Jenkins as a school counselor.
That's Jenkins Middle School.
Yeah, Jenkins Middle School.
Right.
That's exactly right. And was there many years and just loved it. And the opportunity came up after Jenkins closed that as a district counselor. So what I love about this role is I get to go and see students all day long without any of the other extra. But loving it.
Don't have to do those schedule changes and all that you used to do.
Changes, no.
But welcome, Sandy. And Sandy and I worked together at Jenkins for many years. I was a principal there, and she's a counselor. So she's in the right place right now. So Sandy, welcome. I know you're relatively new to this position.
I am.
But I heard you say it's the best job in the world. So.
I'm absolutely loving it. I have great people around me all day, and I'm doing exactly what I want to do. I also started out as a classroom teacher. I taught first and second grade at Browning Piers, and then transitioned into school counselor. And I am wrapping up my 29th year now. And this position became available, and I put my name in the hat, and it's all systems go now. And I'm absolutely enjoying every minute of it. Going into the schools and seeing children and working with children all day long. I have ages 4 to 18, so you never know what you're going to be doing during the day, and I love that.
And most recently, you were a counselor at Kelly Smith Elementary School.
I certainly was, and love those people.
Awesome.
I just wanted to do more counseling, and unfortunately, the role in a school is very different than what we are doing now.
And, I've heard and I've seen that a lot. Counselors, a lot of times, don't really get to do counseling as much as they want to. There's a lot of, scheduling work and, being on duty and all that kind of stuff. So this is pure counseling. So I know both of you are referring to some of your current job duties, and it sounds like it's something you're really enjoying.
Yes.
So, Talk to us about what that entails. And if both of you can talk about it, and then maybe in a few minutes have you talk about maybe some of the success stories you've already seen. So, Sandy, start us off.
The biggest thing is our school counselors or admin will make referrals to us. Could be grief, anxiety, traumas, like the number one thing that we're dealing with our students. So she makes referrals and then kind of divvies them out to us, and we just travel throughout the county and all the different schools weekly. We set up our schedule. Certain days we're on the West End, South End, just to cover everybody. Because believe it or not, even right now, the referrals are still coming. And here we are a couple weeks out before school. So we're at over 600 now for this year. And we do refer out, but that becomes an issue because of transportation for some of our students. So I think as the more I do this each year, how vital we are, because we go into the schools versus transportation, poverty, whatever comes in the way of students getting seen by somebody. For us, it's not necessarily therapy, but we are giving them some tools on how to deal with grief, trauma, anxiety. Those are just our top three, probably, I think. Would you agree, Cindy?
Yes, for me, definitely, yes.
Those are our top three because there's so many students who've lost parents, it seems like, in the last few years in particular. So we're dealing with some major issues, which when you think about it, a student can't work and come to school and do what they need to do if they're not mentally in a state to do that. So our biggest thing, I think, for us in the counseling piece is just giving them some tools to be successful in that piece. Yeah.
And
do you think,
just supporting the schools. I mean, that's really what the goal is. We right now, we don't have many certified counselors in our schools. So for Sandy and I to be able to come in and help support the students as well as administration in those schools, the role is vital. I mean, it is huge. It is so important. These, for even to support the families, and we do a lot of community outreach as well. We have different programs at churches, and we try to gear those in the evenings so that parents and most of my students live with grandparents or great grandparents. And that's one thing we've talked about is a lot of the grandparents and great grandparents that are raising the students, they need tools. Things are very different than when they were raising their own. So just trying to support the families, the students, and the teachers and administration at each and every school that we can touch.
I know one thing. We have mental health counselors here that are licensed mental health professionals. But I know one little obstacle, if it is an obstacle or thing that we have to deal with, for them to talk to students, they have to have parent consent.
Yes.
And I think I see y'all, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I see y'all as kind of working in a triage type thing.
Yes.
Where you can immediately address an issue without necessarily parent consent because you're not providing that level of support, but you're kind of addressing it right off the bat. Is
that is correct. The biggest advantage for us, and I've talked to counselors throughout the state, and a lot of them have never heard of this role, which to me makes it unique. Because a lot of the schools may have therapy, other outside agencies that come in, whereas we necessarily don't have that. But okay, it's all good. Here's the biggest thing. We can go and check up on a student, see what the temperature is, see how it's going, and then with us kind of is the triage piece, say, okay, this student needs therapy or we can handle it. And that's the cool piece that I think works so well with us. And Kim's great in assessing also and having conversations with parents because she talks to every parent or person who is in charge of the student. So she gets a feel, but then we go in as that second piece, which has been really, I think, very successful.
And when the referrals are submitted, there's a brief summary of the student and what their needs may be. And Ms. Simmons is wonderful about just what is in our wheelhouse and making sure that that student is compatible with whomever she assigns that student to. So I love that.
I think we started this. I know Randy Hestrom was very instrumental in starting this. He's our former student services director. And I think we started this about during the time of the pandemic.
Yes.
When a lot of these students were they were kind of out of our orbit for a while.
Right.
And that's pretty scary when our students are out there on virtual and we don't have that day-to-day contact with them. And I know from that it's kind of evolved into what we're doing now. So, and I think I heard you say you've seen collectively 600 students this year. Is that about right?
Right about. Yeah.
I mean, that's as much as a school.
Yeah.
That's the size of a school.
And just think of
It's busy. It is busy, definitely.
And right now, those students probably had we not been able to, to see them, just think of where they might be in school now or may not be in school now.
Exactly. Because I know you and I, when we work together, one of the biggest things that we push for when we worked together in a school was having that one person that student can talk to.
Right.
That one go-to. And this is just another great avenue for that, in my opinion. Because they know we're going to come weekly, and I got my person. So if there's not but somebody at the school, then that's another great thing for me.
Yeah. And just, for a lot of people, discussing their feelings is rare for them. It's very difficult for them. And I've seen a lot of change in students and their acceptance of mental health and their ability to talk about it. Just the other day, I was with a student and I was walking with him, and he one of my other people that I see saw him with me, and he said, "Hey, what are you doing with my counselor?" And the boy said, "She's my counselor too." And then they did the fist pump, and he said, "Go ahead, get right." It was a great conversation. Like they both were like, "Oh, we both have a counselor." So just the familiarity with that.
That tells me too that mental health and counseling is becoming less stigmatized now.
Exactly.
It's kind of like, oh my gosh, you're getting therapy, something must be wrong with you. And that's not the case anymore. And I think we all have had times where we might need a little extra help overcoming.
Absolutely.
So with that said, I always love hearing, success stories. So without mentioning names or particular schools or whatever, can both of you share maybe a student or students you've helped over the years or recently who might be in a good place now because of what you've done? So,
several students throughout the years. I actually have 2 seniors that I've been seeing for the last few years, and even at Jenkins at that time. So, said to me, "Thank you for being there for me." And they said, "You are going to be at graduation, correct? So that I can get a picture with you." So,
that is too cool.
So, and I think back, just having that person to say, "Life is terrible. I'm having a hard time," and I say, "It's going to be all right. What can we do to get you through the hard moments?" And so I'm excited. I have, out 3 now because actually she's graduating early. She said the same thing. So I look back and think, wow, that's exciting. They want me at graduation for a picture. How simple but yet powerful in the same moment. So
that's a great story. And that's what we're all in this business for, is to be able to look back and say, or hear somebody say, "You made a difference in my life." And especially at graduation, that's pretty powerful. So thank you, Sandy, for sharing.
Some students just need someone in their corner. They just need that person to go to. And, one student that I'm thinking of, it's only been a few months since I've been seeing her, but she's on probation. And she has not violated her probation at all, has been attending school every single day, which, looking at her record prior to the time that we've spent together, it was a wreck. So she is showing such tremendous growth, and I'm looking forward to all the things that I'm going to see from her.
Wow.
She just needed someone, needed someone.
So every day you go home after work, and I know you're exasperating, you're tired, but you know what? You got to have a good feeling that you've made a difference in somebody's life. And that's what we all do as educators, but y'all have a very unique role that not many districts that I'm aware of are doing this.
School counselor conference in Daytona. And I was talking to some different counselors, and they were like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Yeah, I see kids all day." And they were like, "Wow, what a great concept." So when I step back and look at it, this is powerful because you have your students that know every week. I know Pam Sharp from the high school calls, "What day are you coming? Because so-and-so's been in. They're waiting on you."
Yeah.
And they're waiting on me when I get there.
Yes.
So it's I know that there is, we're like hope givers in a sense.
Yes.
There is hope and light at the end of the tunnel.
And they need that consistency weekly. They count.
Yeah,
and if
they count on it.
Sometimes we have trainings, but we have to let them know ahead of time if we're not going to be there. Because if you don't, they're like, "Where were you last week?" So, they just love the consistency and thrive.
So I guess a good description might be counselor on wheels.
Yes.
Or something like that.
We are.
You go out and see them. So
Yes.
as we kind of wrap up, and this has been a tremendous interview and information, but as we wrap up, where do you see this evolving? I know it's kind of been a process, and maybe start off different than this. But how do y'all see your role evolving, if so, over the next year or two?
I think as far as the department, I think we need to expand, to be honest with you, as far as the role. And I'm going to say our role, but I mean, it's like we need more in a sense because the numbers keep rising. And just how students, we did the school presentations, which we've never done. So I'd like to expand that to more schools next year. It was pretty powerful because we had students stay and talk to us after the fact and wanted to talk to somebody about mental health. So I would like for us to expand the school presentations next year, so that way we're reaching all people in the county, not just one. So I think that would be.
I've seen too, having school presentations always bring out that kind of opens students up to talk. So you almost have to have people standing by.
Yes.
But I think that's the way you can kind of present it all. And then instead of just doing an individual referral, you can make it available to everybody, and then kids can be referred. So.
And I think it opened the door, especially we went to Crescent City and Plaquemine High this year. But some of the students said, wow, I didn't know that. Can I see you? I said, well, let's talk to your counselor.
Yeah.
So it opened, some of them didn't realize those services were available.
Right.
So that was very good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And many of the teachers didn't realize that the services were available. So in turn, they go and speak to their administration about submitting a referral for us. So, but we've got a lot going on, things coming up. This summer, we have a family therapy, Resilient Roots, that we're going to be doing this summer. And then I know Miss Drew is coordinating the
Resiliency camp.
Resiliency camp.
So we'll be a part of that.
So we're going to be a part of that. And we're just trying to get out there, get the word out that we are here and ready to support.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. And, of course, I recruited you to come in here not too long ago, but y'all have done fantastic and been able to share a lot of information. And y'all also have, who else do you have working with you in this role?
Nakia Washington.
Nakia Washington, I know we've talked to before.
Talked to her, and then we have Kim, and really we have Hannah Silcox, who is case manager, who is
Kim Simmons, and then Hannah Silcox, right.
And Jacqueline Dutch, that is the administrative assistant, and she keeps us all together.
lifeline.
She keeps us all together. She's amazing.
Well, I can't wait to hear. We'll probably have you come on again in a few months, and I know just to kind of recap and bring up to date where we are, and I know it's going to be an evolving thing, but thank you for all you do. Y'all are great friends, and the services you provide for our students in the district, I can't be more thankful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you in our next podcast.